Final Play Sports Wrap, everybody. My name is Pete Lubar, and I'm here today to talk about Mountain West football, as we've been doing every week for the last several weeks. We're covering a single Mountain West team. This week we're covering Fresno State Bulldogs. Fresno State team finished the 2024 season with a 6-7 record, 4-3 record in the Mountain West Conference. Their coach, Jeff Tedford, stepped away for health reasons, but they went out and got a good coach. The new head coach is Matt Entz, who was hired last year to coach linebackers at USC as part of the Trojans' defensive restructuring, but he was more notably known as the head coach of North Dakota State from 2019 to 2023, where he went 60-10 with 2 FCS national championships. He went to USC to broaden his resume so he could get the kind of job that he was hired for here at Fresno State. So, nice hire for Fresno State for sure. From an offensive standpoint, 2024 season, Fresno State's offense ranked 46th in passing, 124th in the rushing game, averaged 340.6 yards per game, placing them around 75th overall in that category. They do have 8 returning starters. Unfortunately, they lost Mikey Keene, who was their quarterback, and running back Malik Sherrod, 2 players that contributed greatly. Keene was great for the Bulldogs, putting up 2,892 yards with 18 touchdowns and 11 interceptions last season. And he's moved to Michigan, where he's likely a backup. Interesting move. Sherrod was great in 2023, tallying 966 yards and 9 touchdowns as a junior. Only played 4 games with the team last year, and this year he's transferred to Boise State. So it's a bit of a mystery what they're going to do, but you can look back to North Dakota State's offense. Matt Entz ran a really physically dominant, run-heavy scheme, utilized gap scheme runs and condensed formations. His teams were known for strong offensive line, 2 tight ends a lot of the plays, and I think in the spring game you sort of saw that. So, North Dakota State made rushing attempts about 70% of their offensive plays, so you can see that they might switch things around. They do have a quarterback battle. They've got E.J. Warner and Joshua Wood. They're going to both probably play this year. If the season started tomorrow against Kansas, they would probably both play in that game. Warner is more accurate. Wood seems to have more upside, a little bit more mobile. So they'll probably play both. From a running back standpoint, they've got Bryson Donaldson, who appeared in 12 games last season, earned the start in the final 3 games. He had 462 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, but they should get significant contribution from Brandon Ramirez. He probably was the most interesting player at the scrimmage, so played well and will earn some definite playing time there. From a receiver standpoint, kind of interesting, but they've got Josiah Ayan, who's listed as wide receiver 1. He's a transfer from Western Colorado, so small school. 44 catches for 651 yards and 9 TDs. They've got Josiah Freeman, who got injured last year. I think he played in 4 games, and he's coming back, and he's listed starter at the Z position. And then you've got a redshirt freshman, Jordan Malalulu, listed as a starter at the H position. So got some talent there. But we'll have to see whether the line is good enough to create the kind of holes that we need to really generate the kind of offense that we had last year. Fresno State didn't run the ball very well last year, so you can see if that's going to change this year. From a defensive standpoint, last year they were pretty good, 52nd in total defense, giving up 365 yards per game. They have 5 returning starters. Entz ran a 4-2-5 defense at North Dakota State University, and he's got new defensive coordinator Nick Benedito coming in. So we'll see if they continue to run that. But they've got a couple of senior defensive backs coming back: Jakari Embry, Azilian Hamilton, and R.J. Reagan. So you got a couple guys coming back, and then they actually got quite a few transfers in the defensive backfield. They've got a nickel named Andre Cobb, who was a transfer from Northern Illinois, where Nick Benedetto was the defensive coordinator. They've got Ethan Turney, also coming in from Northern Illinois. And then you got a couple of kids from Utah State that should be able to help. Jaden Pearson, who's a defensive back, junior transfer from Utah State, and Simeon Harris. He did not play, I don't believe, in the spring game, but transferred from Utah State. They lost 21 players to the transfer portal, and they brought 21 new players in, including 9 Power 5 players. So, at least on paper, have gone after some little used Power 5 players who hopefully have big upsides and want to play more. The defensive line added the most newcomers with 6. The offense line added 4 players. I mentioned some of the names: Simeon Harris, Andre Cobb as Nickelback, Ethan Tierney. So those are probably the top transfers that came in. From a recruiting standpoint, they signed 11 student athletes in the December period. They added 5 in February. So 16 signees, 10 on the offensive side of the ball, and 6 are on defense. They have a high school kid, an O-line, Braden Walton, who might actually play this year, signed in December as an early enrollee, and he's already been working out with the Bulldogs. So all of the signees are rated at least 3 stars by 24/7 Sports, and one of them, Harold Duvall, was bumped to a 4-star, and he will be just the 4th Bulldog ever with that level of rating since 247 Sports began its scouting system. If you look at the schedule, kind of interesting schedule. They start at Kansas, and Kansas was hot at the end of the year last year. They beat BYU, they beat Baylor. So Kansas may be a really good team, though they're kind of picked to 10th, 11th in the Big 12. It's at Kansas. I suspect Fresno State may lose that game, particularly with a new quarterback. And then you got Northern Southern, which they should win. They got at Oregon State, which honestly could be a toss-up game. Oregon State wasn't a world beater last year by any stance. And then they got Southern, and then they start really the Mountain West Conference. They start at Hawaii. That may be interesting. For whatever reason, kids go to Hawaii and they lose focus, and Hawaii's not that bad a team, so that might be a tough match. Probably beat Nevada, go to Colorado State. They beat Colorado State last year, but it's at Colorado State, so that could be a loss. Probably beat San Diego State at home. Going to Boise, that'll be a fun game, rivalry game. I would pick Boise if I was picking right now without knowing anything further. And then they get Wyoming and Utah State. I would think both of those will be wins. And then they go cross town sort of to San Jose State. And that might be a really interesting game too. So, I sort of see them maybe losing to Kansas, CSU, Boise State. And so they're, the record's sort of 9-3, 8-4 for the season, maybe one more loss, and possibly 6-2 or 5-3 in conference. So that wraps up my analysis of Fresno State. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my YouTube page, and have a great day, everybody. Bye.